If you're looking for a place to buy or sell your FIFA 23 Ultimate Team coins, check out u4gm.com as a reliable place to do so and use code ELYTE, E-L-Y-Y-T, for 5% off at checkout.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Panic has begun on FIFA 23 Ultimate Team for these road to the final cards, especially for the ones that lost their match. Of course, we always saw that coming. But what we're also seeing is that even for players that win their first match, guarantee an upgrade, they're also coming down in price. And to be honest, guys, they are great investments, especially those that won the game and went down in price. Not so much the people who lost their match, especially like Roberto Firmino, who you see on your screen there, who lost 5-2. It's very unlikely they make a comeback at the Bernabeu, but hey, they've been known to make these kind of comebacks in the past. Barcelona. Anyways, that is a card that I would stay away from, and it's a card that I definitely would have stayed away from beforehand. I've been just screaming at you guys in every single video not to buy any cards right before their matches, and make sure that if you have a card, to sell it before their next match. It's the rule of thumb if you want to guarantee profit on these road to the finals. Make sure you're not losing hundreds of thousands of coins, because if you hold any of these cards, it seems, even if they do end up winning their match, it doesn't seem worth it at all. Because if we take a look at Nikola Barella, this card who played today, Inter Milan, ended up scoring in the 86th minute, guaranteeing him going from 89 to 90 rated. It's one of the most popular cards in the game right now. He's a little less than 380,000 coins. And this card, before the match that they ended up winning, guaranteeing that he gets an upgrade and also giving them an edge to get the next upgrade by qualifying for the quarterfinals, has gone down in price, because yesterday he was an average of 420,000 coins, and at the peak, during and after the game, you've got him at 428,000 coins. So if you had this Nikola Barella and you took a risk and Lukaku ended up scoring that goal, you could have gotten about 420,000 coins on him. But as you can see right here, after the match was over, he crashed all the way back down to 370K. Kind of spiked back up into, you know, the higher 300s, 390. And then he's gone back down over the last couple of hours, down to about 370,000 coins. And I got a couple of snipes on these cards for even less. So I've got a couple for about 350. I've got a couple for 360. And it was an obvious investment because people are not patient enough to hold these cards until their next game, which is in 2 weeks. So that is the easiest coins that we will make. This card is going to get an upgrade to 90, and then he's also got high potential to go to 91 really quickly after that by qualifying for the quarterfinals. Here's the deal. Am I going to hold past that next match against Porto? I'm not. I'm going to sell that card before they play that next UCL match. I'm not sure exactly which day, but it'll probably be a few days before they actually play that match. Maybe morning of that match when all that hype is building. Now, if we take a look at Calvin Phillips, this is a card that crashed as well. The panic, again, very much real in this game. 639,000 coins right now. If we take a look at what he was yesterday, on average, 827,000 coins. If we take a look at the hourly, he was 880,000 coins when they scored that first goal. When Riyad Mahrez ended up scoring, that card was up at 860,000 coins. And actually, it kind of was up at that price before the match as well. As you can see, even in the hours leading up to that match, it was pretty high. But then, when they got a goal scored on them by Leipzig, they ended up pushing that card down to 600,000 coins. In fact, he went even lower at about 598,000 coins on average for that hour. And he has spiked back up. Of course, Manchester City are still heavy favorites to go through. They get back at the Etihad, and he can go from an 89 to an 88 to an 89, and then potentially get more upgrades if Manchester City go further into the tournament. But he does miss out on that initial inform upgrade by winning the first match in the knockout stages after the release of Road to the Final. Now we can take a look at Roberto Firmino, who has actually fallen out of the most popular players in the game because people don't want anything to do with him anymore. They're pretty much out of it unless Liverpool can make a huge comeback again. But he has 1 million coins, which is less than half by a significant margin of what he was when Liverpool were up 2-0 against Real Madrid. This card spiked all the way up to 2.2 million coins. Now, it says right there about 2 million coins, but that's the average for the hour. You have to understand that Real Madrid did score again only a few minutes after they went up 2-0 when Vinicius scored in about the 30th minute. So this was actually 2.2 million coins. And as you can see, he has crashed back down. He got as low as 900K, and the rebound, very profitable, to be fair. But I don't think that this card is going to see too much more of a rebound. It obviously could go up another, 50,000 coins. I don't see it going up much higher than that, just because there is very, very little chance that this card is going to get an upgrade. Obviously, they lost the first match. So they're not going to get that upgrade, and they have to end up beating Real Madrid by 4 goals at the Bernabeu to go even further. And with current Liverpool form, it's just not likely. Then we can take a look at a couple of the Europa League cards, because this is where we can make profit today. Of course, we've started to learn about the UCL trends. We know how they work. We know that they're the most, they're the highest in price in the hours leading up to those matches. And then they crash afterwards, whether they win or lose. Whether they win or lose, they go down. It's the same as the ones to watch cards at the beginning of the year. Whether they win or lose, they go back down in price. So it's incredible to see all these cards get overinvested and then sold off after their matches, even if they end up winning those games. But it makes it a great opportunity to make profits. Now let's take a look at Europa League cards, because those guys play today, or at least most of them. So we're going to take a look at Anthony Martial first. This card is a terrible investment right now. You do not want to be buying it for 910,000 coins. Now, if they end up winning against Barcelona, here's the deal. A lot of people expecting that if they get the win against Barcelona, he gets both upgrades. That is not true. He only gets one for the first win after the release of the promo. So he will go to 90 rated if they beat Barcelona, but they end up having to win in the next round, whoever they get matched up with, to get the round of 8, the quarterfinal qualifier upgrade. So this card with a +1 upgrade, I don't even think is worth 910,000 coins. You're seeing so much hype around this card over investing, and it's not the only one. We saw it with Roberto Firmino. 2.2 million coins down to this price. And I think the exact same thing will happen to Martial. He'll go from 910K to 400-something thousand coins, because this card, although it is good, it is very good. 92 pace, 93 dribbling, 88 shooting, still at face value is not worth 910,000 coins, not even close to it. So if they end up losing to Barcelona, he's going to crash about 60% of his price. And if they beat Barcelona, I don't see it going up a ton. So if you have it, and even if you're a Manchester United fan, I would put your love aside for Martial here and just protect your coins, because you can buy them back afterwards for not so much of a premium price as the amount of coins you would lose if they end up losing the match. But the reason I bring this up is because I want to take a look at Martial's card and how it has moved over the course of the last 72 hours. Because we can see as we get closer to this match, he keeps going up. He was 730,000 coins before he started rising, and now he's up to 910,000 coins. And that's a rise of nearly 200,000 coins just in the hype of this first match. That's a huge rise on this card. But when we take a look at Gabriel Martinelli, this guy, Arsenal, do not play right now. Where is Martinelli? I can't even see him. There he is. All right, so Gabriel Martinelli, 800,000 coins. He was about the same price at the exact same time as Martial, but you can see when he started rising and Martial started rising, Gabriel Martinelli stopped at like 800,000 coins. He got at a peak 850. He never went up to 900K. In fact, he's actually coming back down. He's at 809,000 coins right now. So from his lowest point at 760K, the lowest he's ever been, he's only up about 50,000 coins. And it's because people do not have the patience to hold until their first match, because they are waiting until Arsenal will play in the round of 16, because they're not currently playing in the knockout stages, the play-ins, basically, the playoffs to get into the round of 16. They're not in that. They've already qualified. So I think that once Arsenal get their opponent, whenever that is announced for Europa League, after these matches are played today and we know who's going through to the qualifiers, I think that Arsenal, especially if they get up an opponent against an opponent that is maybe they're heavy favorites against, this card starts rising and will continue to rise just like the Anthony Martial did until their first match, because that Gabriel Martinelli will have the opportunity to get a +2 because they don't play in the playoff games, which means that we have to wait until their round of 16 games for him to get that first game upgrade. But then it combines with another upgrade, which in their current form, probably likely to do. And I think a lot of people are just going to be buying into that hype. We don't even have to wait to see if they actually win that match. I think that's a great high budget investment if you guys wanted to dump some coins into him. Now, Nikola Barella, we talked about. I like that as an investment, but we've still got a couple of cards that are decently cheap in price. Lucas Moura is one of them, 197,000 coins. It's not too much, but again, you do not want to be holding this through their match. It's not a terrible price, though. Daniel Malen, this is a card that I've already invested in at about this price. He hasn't gone up a ton yet, but they play next week. Okay, so when Chelsea plays against Dortmund on either Tuesday or Wednesday, I actually don't know when they play, that's going to be over 100,000 coins, no doubt about it, because he's got an opportunity. If Dortmund win that game, he will go up by +2, and the exact same thing applies to Fofana. And you know Chelsea have to go out and try to score some goals. That this season they haven't been too good at, but I know that now that they're at Stamford Bridge and they're able to just go out and attack, knowing that they need goals, then this is going to be a good chance for them to get a win and also get the entrance into the qualifiers for the round of 8. So I think both of those are great investments going into their first match, and you've got a whole week for those cards to rise. And we see in those 72 hours leading up to that match how these cards fluctuate. They go up very quickly. So next up, we've got Conference League cards. Atal is a card that I have been looking at, 208,000 coins. I think you can get for 200. Look at what his card has been doing over the last couple of hours. He's gotten down to as low as 193K. I wish I would have seen it when it was at 193,000 coins. I wasn't looking at this card. Great deal there. If he gets back down to close to 200,000 coins, pick a couple up. It's the exact same scenario as the Arsenal situation with Gabriel Martinelli. OGC Nice, they won their group in the Conference League, which means that they don't have any playoff games or play-in games. They've just got to await their opponent to play in the round of 16. So that Atal is an exact same investment as Gabriel Martinelli, but on a lower scale, more medium budget. A lot more of you guys can probably afford that. Now, once we get into the really low budget cards, there's a lot more profit that could potentially be made, but a lot more risk that comes along with it as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at this full team. And I don't want to look at that. I want to look at the full team together. We look at this full team together and we look at some of the low budget cards. I really like Lamela because Sevilla are known to do well in these tournaments, and they're already up 3-0 on PSV on aggregate. So they're very likely to go through. If he's able to win that first match as well, and they go through, they're probably going through either way, unless PSV come with a crazy comeback. He's at least going to go to 87, even if they lose by 1 or 2 goals. He's going to go to 87 rated, but if they win that match, he'll go to 88 rated, and this card can also play as a center attacking mid. So you're looking at a center attacking mid after a +2 upgrade, probably 90 pace, over 90 dribbling, near 90 shooting, probably 90 plus passing, and then, high 80s in physicality. And you're looking at a card that goes from 35,000 coins and skyrockets up a lot. So I think this Lamela card is actually a pretty decent investment. If Sevilla were in UCL, maybe not as much because they might not be as big of favorites to go far in the tournament. But Sevilla, I mean, they won like 3 back-to-back Europa Leagues a couple years ago. They've been known to do well in this tournament. And so I've picked up quite a few for like 34,000, 35,000 coins. That's one of my investments as well. Low budget. And to be honest, there is some risk involved with it. It would go down in price if PSV do come back. But I think that's one of those cards that is a little bit more on the safer side if you want to hold through their match. Maybe it's because I've only got a few of them and I have a lot of coins. So if I were to lose 50,000 coins, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But in the end, it's unlikely that Sevilla don't go through in this first round. Next up, in the final card we'll talk about in today's video, and I just opened the wrong tab again, we'll take a look on the bench, and it is going to be, who was it? No, it wasn't any of those. Oh, yeah, it was Miranda. Miranda, the left back for Real Betis. Now, I don't know much about Real Betis. I don't watch them play whatsoever. But looking at these stats and the potential upgrades of the skill moves in weak foot that we are going to see later in the tournament, if they are able to get towards the semifinals, we're going to see huge upgrades with this card, which already has 5 stats, 81 and above. Again, only 35,000 coins. So another low budget card. I have Lamela. I don't have Miranda, but it's another decent card to invest in. Now, when you look at some of the cards that have lost their games, like Tuta, guys, you can't say I didn't warn you, okay? If you had a Tuta and you held that card into their match, I mean, he was 30,000 coins. I told you guys he was going to be closer to discard price than he was going to be to 20,000 coins. And that is absolutely true because he's 13,000 coins. He's the cheapest 85 in the game. And then we've got Forsberg. Now, here's the deal. Forsberg at 18.5 thousand coins, 86 rated cards are a little bit cheaper than that, but not by a ton. And on top of that, they're tied 1-1 on aggregate. If there was going to be any sort of big upset, it could be at the Etihad for RB Leipzig, knocking out Manchester City. Manchester City have been drawing a lot recently, it seems, against teams that are definitely not as good in terms of talent level. We saw it against Nottingham Forest. Could they pull it off? RB Leipzig, I don't know, but for 18,000 coins, it might be worth taking some sort of risk on that kind of card just because it's so low right now, even after they were able to tie it up on aggregate after the first match. But if we take a look at the price, again, 27,000 coins before the match, they draw the match, which is probably more than what a lot of people expected, and he still goes down. So we're looking at a lot of panic today, and that is pretty much the main topic of today's video. But we learn from it, we make some coins now, and I think we've got these Rttf cards down. There's going to be a lot of profit made on this channel and on your guys' accounts, I'm sure, as well. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, do not forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. You've made it to the end of the video. Go ahead and comment check. We're going to comment Petter check in the comments down below. If you made it this far, go ahead and hide that in your comments so none of these casuals see it and catch on and they comment Petter check as well. I want to know who my real OGs are making it to the end of my videos. That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.